confidentiality. In this brief session, we will discuss releases of information, including when and why to use them, what the HIPAA law is and what it means to you, and the general role and purpose of confidentiality. Releases provide an important safeguard for the rights of people receiving waiver services. Releases can be thought of as a permission slip in that they allow providers to discuss information about a participant. Releases must be specific to the participant. Who is the information about? To the people who can receive and the people who can give out the information. The specific information or type of information, details about a doctor's visit, a surgery, or dietary needs, for what purpose the information can be shared, to transition to a new provider, to train residential staff, and exactly when the information can be shared, a one-time only date, during a month-long surgery preparation, or for 1 year from the date the release was signed. In 1996, Congress passed a federal mandate called the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, or HIPAA. With the advent of electronic medical records, the need for protection of personal medical information became apparent. HIPAA was created to set boundaries for information sharing so that information can be shared to benefit participants, so that personal rights to privacy are protected, and so that individuals receive education about these needs and rights. All types of personal medical information are covered under HIPAA, including oral, written, and electronic information. For example, if covered information will be displayed on a computer screen, the user must ensure that the information is not visible to persons who do not have an approved reason to see the information. Written materials should be shredded when no longer needed, and conversations, whether in person or on a telephone, must take place in private areas. There are 3 general guidelines that greatly simplify concerns about how to abide by the HIPAA requirements: PHI, Minimum Necessary Standard, and TPO. PHI refers to protected health information. Any individually identifiable health information, name, social security number, address, birth date, etc., that is transmitted or maintained in any form or media must be considered HIPAA-protected information. The minimum necessary standard provides a rule of thumb to follow, which is that only the information which is absolutely necessary to provide services can be shared. TPO refers to treatment, payment, and operations. Providers are allowed to share information necessary to provide treatment, services in the case of the waivers, to receive payment for services, and to generally operate. Here are some examples. In order to provide services, each direct care staff person needs participant-specific training. Providers must include participant information as part of the billing process, and a provider may need to tell another provider the address of a participant's medical appointment in order to arrange transportation for the participant. There are penalties under HIPAA for wrongful disclosure of information, including fines ranging from $100,000 to $250,000 and even jail. Remember that wrongful disclosures may occur in day-to-day work activities that are incidental or are shared in good faith. It is when wrongful disclosures occur that are intentional that penalties will most likely be enforced. Chapter 38 of the Wyoming Medicaid Rule explains the confidentiality requirements regarding Medicaid applicants or recipients, which includes waiver participants. This chapter gives detailed definitions and guidelines regarding confidentiality and the processes for sharing information, so it would be beneficial for any provider within the Medicaid system to review this chapter. The most important reason to maintain the confidentiality of participant information is to uphold dignity and respect for participants and to provide a high level of professionalism for all providers. Staff and providers have access to very personal and private participant information. With that access comes great responsibility to use the information appropriately and educate both participants and providers alike when breaches are possible.
Hi Chris, how are you doing?
Good, Yvonne, how are you?
I'm doing well. Are you guys ready for this meeting?
I am.
Great. Well, I think we're waiting for a couple more people and then we'll get started.
Sounds good. All right.
Well, I'm sure glad you're on Terry's team now. I think she really likes having you doing respite, and she loves having you as a case manager.
I really enjoy her. She's really growing and achieving her objectives.
Yeah, she's great to work with.
Oh, that reminds me, Chris, you work with Anita too, right?
I do.
Did you know she was in the hospital yesterday?
No, I didn't. Was it a seizure or what happened?
Well, we're not sure. They said that she might have to have an MRI, and
That sounds serious.
I'm gonna give her guardian a call and find out, so I'll let you
Let
know.
me know.
Who's her case manager?
It's Joshua. Joshua's her case
Oh, okay.
manager.
Yeah.
So she's doing pretty good. The previous scenario was an example of inappropriate sharing of confidential information. The reason is that not everyone present at the team meeting was on both participants' teams. In the next scenario is an example of how misunderstanding the role of confidentiality can be an obstruction to providing services.
Denise, how's the table been set for dinner?
I don't think it's quite done. Did the guys usually help with that?
They usually typically do. Oh, is that the door? I bet you that's Terry's guardian. Could you let her in?
Okay. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. Come on in.
Hi, I'm Chris. I'm Terry's guardian.
Okay.
Hi, Chris. How are you doing today?
Good, Yvonne, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Well, I'm here to pick up Terry, but I'm wondering how she's doing. How was her afternoon?
I don't think we can tell you that. That's confidential.
Oh, but I'm her guardian. I think you can give that information to me.
Oh, yeah, where it's her guardian, you can tell her how Terry's day went.
Do we need to get a release?
No, not where she's the guardian.
Okay.
Hi Denise.
Hey, Yvonne.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Did you have a good weekend?
Yeah.
My weekend was crazy. I worked this all weekend at the group home.
Oh my gosh. What
And-
all went on?
Oh my God, Kyle, you know Kyle Davis.
Well, yeah.
He was there and he had the hugest behavior. Just he like dumped the entire like dining room table and all the dinner for everybody. We had to recook it for like 10 guys. Oh, it was an absolute mess. The police ended up being called. They had to come by. There was restraints used. It was a mess.
Well, I know that they're having a team meeting for him pretty soon, but
Oh, they need to.
Oh
I mean,
my
it's not
gosh.
soon enough.
as you can see, anytime information is shared in a public setting, you risk breaching confidentiality. Thank you for joining us in the training session on confidentiality. If you have any questions or would like additional information, you can refer to the division website, contact your local survey certification staff, or review the rules.